this store offers a camp and you can go and make a rag quilt for a week. And she told me, oh, I think you'll be really interested. And I was like, Mom, that's so lame. Like, clothing's for old people. So she dragged me there the summer that I was 12, and I did get a Beanie Baby out of the visit. So, and when I got there, I thought, well, this is really cool. So I picked out all my flannels, really bright pink and purple. And after that week, I was absolutely hooked on quilting, and I swear I never wanted to do like pattern sewing or fashion sewing ever again. So I quilted there for a couple of years, and then when I was in grade 8, I started teaching the children classes myself. And when I had occasional breaks from schools or PA days, I would go in and I would help teach the adult classes during the day. So when it was 2009, the lady that owned the store, she was retiring, and the new lady didn't want to have children's classes. So that really bothered me. Like, I worked there as a cashier as well and cut fabric during the day, but teaching children to quilt is probably the most important aspect of anything, just passing on skills all the time, or else in 20 years there's not going to be a whole lot of quilters anymore. So I got entered into this competition secretly by a high school teacher called My Summer Company, and it's run by the Ontario government. And there's 1,500 applicants, and 20 students get picked from the ages of, I think, 16 to 20. And if you present a good business plan, and you have to make a cash flow, and it's kind of like the Dragon's Den, like you just go and you sales pitch your idea. And if they like it, then you have to go to a bunch of workshops about marketing and accounting, and you get to be an entrepreneur for the summer. So I opened my business, and I started teaching quilting lessons just for July and August, and I ran a summer camp for kids just like how I started. And at the end of the summer, I won the competition because of my profits that I made. So I decided that I would keep going like through the school year. So I just taught on Saturdays, and I started teaching 2 classes on Saturdays, and now I'm teaching 3 classes on Saturdays and 1 on Monday night as well. So when I was ready to pick my university, I had a lot of parents saying, don't go like out of town and stuff, because their children really wanted to continue sewing, and there isn't really a lot of places in my area that actually teach sewing or quilting lessons to children. So I guess that's a good thing. But also, just on a side note, I have little magnets instead of handing out business cards, so they're down there in that bag. And in July, I'm being a guest artist for the Prince Edward County Quilt Show, so there's some pamphlets down there, so if you want, you can help yourself to those later. So I teach adults as well as children, but when I teach my kids, we just focus on smaller things, and I try building them up. So we do like pillowcases and aprons and oven mitts and table runners and just small items, and then I get them introduced to quilting slowly. So right now for Mother's Day, we're making these little micro mittens for just taking things out of the microwave rather than oven mitts. So that's something cute. And then I always like getting them started with paper piecing, because I know a lot of people think that it's difficult, or they try and stay away from it. So I use Carol Doak's book, and I just enlarge them a little bit so that the pieces are nice and big and it's not too fiddly with it. So we make name banners, and we put magnets on the back so they can put them in their lockers and stuff at school, or they can put them on the fridge at home. And then I teach just a really basic quilt, and I'm kind of upset because when I was on my way here, I realized that I forgot my photo album, because I take pictures of all my students and their work. So with this quilt, it's just really simple for them, but the little ice creams are paper pieced as well, but they don't have to do ice creams. Like, they could do hearts or butterflies or flowers or something, and then just offset it really easily, and then they quilt them and bind them themselves, and it's just big enough that they can use it at home, but small enough that they can handle it underneath their machine. And then I get them to do a little bit harder stuff. So we do Mariner's Compass bags. And then this is a little wall hanging that I made for my dad for Father's Day one year with the little lighthouse and the boats. And this really, it's small and it's nice and easy, so it doesn't take too long, but the pieces are very tiny, so it's a little bit difficult for some of them, but they like it because it's nice and simple. So. And then the other thing that I do a lot of is table runners. And the reason why I like doing them is just because they can practice doing quilt blocks without having to do the entire quilt themselves. So I really like doing stock and wax just because every single time that you do it, it always turns out different. So this is one of the first ones I made, and I think I was only 12 when I did it. But I love it because when you're doing a stock and wax, you just pick something that has a really big print or a print that's really ugly. So if you turn this over, when I saw this, I didn't like it at all. I thought it was kind of tacky and just really busy, a lot going on. But if you get one of these magic mirrors, and they sell them at quilt stores and stuff, and the further you open this, there's less points, and then when I do it, I use 8 points. So if you were to put this on your fabric somewhere and look into it, it's going to show you what the center of your star would look like before you even cut your fabric. So every single time that you cut in a different spot, you get a completely different look in every single star. And then the other interesting thing is that if I were to turn these diamonds around so that this point is actually in the center, it would look completely different again. So I also have it in a Christmas print, so I used a poinsettia fabric. And then when you make the stars, it doesn't look like poinsettias at all. And then this one is actually a cabbage fabric, and it has lettuce and stuff on it, but it looks really neat on the front, so I like doing those. And then if they don't want to do table runners and stuff, I did it in a bag as well with little flowers on it. Okay.